Hi, my name's Christy, and this is my final exam. I'm introducing myself because I am going to be the athlete in my video. Given the coronavirus nonsense that's going on right now, I don't actually have the opportunity to work with any other athletes or people at this time. So the sport that I participate in is rock climbing. Specifically right now I'm in season for sport climbing, which involves climbing up to 100 feet, clipping bolts along the way. It's highly an anaerobic capacity sport. A lot of emphasis is on strength to weight ratio in this sport. It's really helpful to have good leg power, pull power, pull-up strength, shoulder stability, and a good strong midsection or core. So usually in my training cycle, depending on where I'm at, I'll do anywhere between 2 or 3 days of strength and conditioning work on top of 3 or even 4 days a week of actual climbing. Climbing is a skill sport, so it makes sense to spend a lot of your time outside on the rock and actually climbing. So I'm in season right now, so like I said, I like to focus more on actually climbing and achieving my goals. So my training is very limited. I'll pick maybe a handful of workouts, 1 pull, 1 hinge, 1 squat, some leg stuff, and I deal with hamstring tendonitis, so I've been doing a lot of hamstring work, and then core work I do regularly at least once a week, on top of training my fingers via hangboarding. So in this workout today, I'm going to be warming up per usual. The warm-up here I usually do every time I work out. Sometimes I'll even do it at the crag or at the rock climbing wall. And then I'm going to do some weighted pull-ups for pull strength and some Turkish get-ups to tall sit for midsection core, shoulder stability. I've added in a pressing motion, so an overhead press, kneeling, and a core workout as well. In total, this workout usually takes me about a little over an hour. I've shortened it for the sake of this video, fast forwarded through a few things, and then added in a cool down at the end, which involves a lot of static stretching and yoga and a lot of hip flexibility, because those are the things that are most important for climbers. For the warm-up, I usually start with some resistance band pull downs and complete about 8 to 10 reps. Next, we'll start to warm up the midsection or our core by doing some alternating leg lowers, keeping the core flexed and slowly lowering the legs. I'll usually do about 5 reps on each leg. From here, I'll transition into a yoga squat or just a low squat and alternate with a T-spine twist, starting to open up the shoulders and then moving to a squat to stand, again squatting low and twisting and or straightening the legs, and again completing about 5 reps on each. From here, I'll do some plank walkouts, so walking the hands forward into a high plank, adding in a shoulder tap on each arm, and then walking back to stand, starting to warm up the hamstrings, the core, and the shoulders. Next, I'll do some scapular pull-ups, drawing the shoulder blades towards the spine, warming up the shoulders again. Next, we're going to do about 3 pull-ups, again to warm up the shoulders and get ready for weighted pull-ups. After resting for 3 minutes, I'm going to complete 3 reps of weighted pull-ups with a 5-pound plate. Once again, I'll rest for 3 minutes and then add an additional 5 pounds and complete 3 reps with 10 pounds. This set, I'll add another 5 pounds, so completing 3 reps with 15 pounds added to my harness. Finally, the last set, I'll aim for 3 reps with the 15 pounds, so completing a total of 5 sets with increasing weight. From here, I'll move into doing a couple rounds of a Turkish get up to a tall sit with a 10-pound weight. In total, I'll end up completing 3 sets of 2 reps on each arm. And this exercise is great for climbers because it'll build some shoulder stability in the arms and some great midsection core and tension. One thing to think about when performing this exercise is to think about rolling onto the arm rather than completely sitting up. So as you can see, I'm going to roll onto my right forearm, lifting up and pressing down through the bent knee foot. For more advanced athletes, they could choose to do the Turkish get up to a bridge by extending the long leg, or you can do a full Turkish get up depending on your level of expertise. The next exercise in the circuit that I'll do is a kneeling 1-arm dumbbell overhead press. Here I'm going to do, again, 3 sets of 8 reps on each arm. For each of these exercises, the Turkish get up to tall sit and the kneeling overhead press, I'll rest 1 minute between each set. Finally, after completing my circuits, I'm going to complete a core circuit in which I'll complete each exercise for 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off until all exercises are complete. The first exercise is a dish tuck, followed by a 30-second rest. The second exercise is a weighted Russian twist. The third exercise is a weighted crunch. Again, 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off. The fourth exercise is a forearm plank with a march, so simply just kicking your feet up while remaining stable in the core in the midsection. The fifth exercise is a low dish flutter kicks, again 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off. The final exercise is a lower back extension or a Superman, again for 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off. After completing the circuit, I'll rest for 1 minute and then complete the circuit either 2 or 3 times, depending on the way I'm feeling and where I'm at in my training cycle. For the cool down, I'll do some yoga. So I'll start in a downward facing dog, taking about 5 breaths, pedaling out the feet. Again, walking my feet forward, coming to a standing forward fold, stretching my wrists and my hamstrings, walking my feet out to a low squat, stretching the neck, moving from side to side, pressing my elbows into my knees, adding in a T-spine twist here, opening up the shoulders, twisting in the spine. Again, taking about 5 breaths in each position. Slowly starting to begin to stretch out the areas that I used. Adding in some additional twists here. This one's called a teepee twist. So wrapping the knees and then twisting either to the right or the left. The gaze comes over the right or the left shoulder. Next, I'll do a reverse tabletop position. So placing the hands about 6 to 8 inches behind the back, fingertips facing towards the feet, lifting the hips, drawing the shoulder blades towards the spine. And then coming into another shoulder opener. I'll interlace my hands behind my back, and again, draw the shoulder blades towards the spine, lifting the chest. From here, I'll take a couple more twists, bending from side to side, really focusing on opening up the side body and bringing the right or the left arm up and over the ear. Next in the sequence, I'll move through a couple cat-cow tilts. So on an inhale, lifting the head and the heart, and then exhale, rounding the spine. Coming back to down dog, lifting the legs, opening up the hips, taking a couple pulses in a lunge to open up the front of my hips, and then holding statically, stretching the front of my hip flexors. From here, I'll shift my hips back, flexing my toes, taking a runner stretch, so stretching the hamstrings, and then again shifting back forward. And from here, I'll move into a quad stretch, so reaching back for the top of my foot and slowly beginning to bend my foot in towards my glutes. A couple more hip stretches. Hip flexibility is really important in climbing, and as an athlete and a runner, I often get tight hips. So spending 10 to 15 minutes after my sessions to work on flexibility is super important. Again, I'll complete the same thing on the other side, starting with some pulses in a lunge, coming to stillness in a low lunge, maybe massaging my thighs a little bit, and again moving into some more hip opening and hamstring stretches. Next, I'll add in another hip stretch by placing my foot flexed on top of my knee and slowly walking my seat a bit closer to my midline, and then again switching sides. And then finally, I'll take a wide-legged stance and just simply fold forward, stretching out the legs, maybe taking a couple pulses. And then I'll move into my final hip opener for the day, which is just a wide frog stance. So again, lowering as low as I can, and I'll try to usually sit here for anywhere between 2 or 3 minutes of time to really focus on opening up the hips.